in December as everyone's going on holiday and getting into the Christmas spirit. And so it's quite a nice time for you to see some new projects that are emerging for Q1, Q2 next year. Hopefully, let's finger crossed, our bear market ends by that Q1, Q2 next year. And yeah, so I'm quite honored to have the Mirror World, yeah, and Getaverse. 1470 club, they were going to join, but unfortunately their 7140 club, their panelist got COVID, unfortunately, so they were not able to join today. So we hope that they can recover fast. So yeah, then what I'll do now is I'll just give it over a little bit to. I've seen some updates here in MG World. I've voted for the teams to win. I've been watching World Cup, and I think it's quite fun this year. It's not very predictable, eh? So a lot of matches where I thought, oh, definitely, this team's going to win. Definitely, there's no chance they'll lose, and then the underdog won. So I quite enjoy football at the moment because the underdogs have a big chance. So I see that there's.
Yeah, we agree too. Um, Before we see at the start in the group stage, we see some team is really strong, especially Spain. I think Spain was having a young team, and the generation
Mm,
is has a lot of potentials. But it was surprising that they they was losing before Morocco in the penalty set. But I don't really know why. On that day they did not really good.
I think, yeah, for me, football is always on the day. Hey, any team can beat any team on the day, just depending on whose team is just gelling better than another one. I think Morocco is just the hoop of Africa, and I'm so yeah, I think in South Africa everyone is like going on about woo Morocco,
Yeah,
so I think they're so happy that there's someone in there,
like
and
like many people says that, hey, I'm a fan of Morocco for 20 years, like something like that. After they win the Spain and they support try to support
yeah,
Morocco more in. And I
yeah,
believe
I've
lots of people after see the Brazil brought to destroy Korea in the match. So many people believe that Brazil will be the champions in this World Cup. I think it's possible, but let's see a lot of answer from Mbappe or the answers from Harry Kane. Yes, they are so good. That's why
yes,
there will be
yeah.
a lot of a surprise, so we cannot predict.
Yeah, there's no prediction. It is quite random, but yeah. So it looks, yeah, nice MG.Land. I've not been in your. I see there's a third one as well. I haven't been to that one. Um, but yeah. So again, on let's start off, and then let's just go over a little bit what some new things that are happening. Introduce yourself, and we'll start with. It seems like Getaverse is having a little bit of an issue.
Let me try to
So yeah, let's start it then. So let's start with MGLand Q or Rock. You guys can take it away and just tell us a little bit about the new things going on with you.
all right, cool. I'll try to introduce more about MGLand's No Worries Q. I'll take this part.
Okay, sure.
All
Yeah.
right. Um, and recently, MGLand really uh, are really they're developing lots of things. For example, we are gradually becoming a marketing tool for many projects around the world. Uh, uh, the most obvious symbol that you can see is that we are developing a World Cup map and a Mischarm map. A- and one more thing is Miss Charm is one of our partner. That is the beauty pageant, a traditional beauty pageant. But this time, this year, they will involve the blockchain technology in the contest. So which means the Miss can they can call for the support, can tell the fan to buy an NFT and farm for token. And this token is not tradable, but it will be used mainly for voting. to support them in the contest, and the miss, and the judge will choose the winner through the voting, or through the voting, and also in the main contest. Um, so that's why MGLand create a map to support them to hold lots of activities, like activities like this, right on the Mistra map. So in the future, we want to sell the land to many projects so they can like put the image. For example, park3.mgland, you can put the park3 image right in your land, and of course you can bring lots of people and hold the event yourself. And of course you can import your NFT, and you can require your users to you have to own your NFT to be able to participate in this event. And through the event, you can easily customize it yourself. For example, you want to do like a lucky draw weekly or lucky draw monthly, or you can hold a live talking as well for some for some exclusive members you want to reward because they spend time and they spend lots of money for you. Yes, so that's why we are developing a way for many projects to promote themselves, and we kind of sell land to lots of projects out there, and they want to develop or marketing themselves. And that's the one target. We also target some KOL or the miss who want to, like, they don't have to design or buy a website online. They can easily choose MGLand because we can easily put a independent dominant, which means you can import like port3.mgland, mirror.mgland, something like that, and you can build your image on it. Yes, that would be great for lots of people, for lots of projects they want to promote. So you guys can see that's one of our big changes, and in in the future there will be lots of project has the image on MGLand. Yes, yes, and also we always
I think
catch up with the trends, and that's why we create World Cup map for the great party in the world. Yes.
that's amazing. That's quite cool. And I'm happy to be part with MGLand, so collab with you guys. It's amazing. And definitely continue to grow together, hey? Um, and next, I'm just going to ask Ryan, are you from Mirror World, to give us some introduction? I'm very interested in your project. It looks quite cutting edge, I would say, like that, if you can. I'm quite impressed with it after a quick read through the website and just looking up what's going on there. So you can fill us in a bit more.
Yeah, sure. Well, if you've read the white paper, you know how in depth it actually is. I think release wise, we were one of the first AI integrated NFT projects out there. There were some other ones, but I don't think they're around anymore. Like there were one called Alifa, which were a project in India. It did have high hopes. It had backing from Mark Cuban, but I literally haven't heard anything from it now for a fair while. So I think I'm confident to say we're probably one of the top NFT AI projects out there at the moment. So what we are, I'm obviously the community manager for Mirror World. I manage the main Discord in Mirror World, which is 53,000 members. Yeah, every single one of them obviously contribute to the economy in some way, whether they contribute on Twitter, whether they contribute in the Discord. We offer different incentives for people as well. We created the first steps form of our early DAO, which is basically the foundations before the token release. We don't particularly have a date on the token release at the moment, but it is something that's planned for the future. And what we believe is the token will power something called the world of games. So we have developed successfully now 4 playable games. The first one was called Mirama. This was an ARPG game. This particular game itself, it is not available to play at the moment, as it were a beta test we went to. But the playable games we have are Mirror Jump, which can be downloaded from the Play Store. We've currently got over 10,000 downloads. I think it's closer to 20,000 now, to be honest, which is amazing. And we pretty much got 10,000 downloads within the first week. which is crazy to think that we managed to bootstrap that level in a Web3 environment. Without a token as well, obviously. The main incentive of the game at the moment is prize pools. So we offer a prize pool for people playing, and the person with the highest jump will be the one who takes, obviously, the prizes. I think the highest jump we had at the moment is 170,000 meters, which is insane. Like I tested the game before it released, and my best score were around 20,000. So yeah, I definitely feel a little bit embarrassed at that. But yeah, that's one of the games. And then we made a side-scrolling jump game as well, which we call Mirror Rush. This is currently launched in beta 2, which is open beta for everyone to try. And basically, this game is a side-scroller where you have to dodge obstacles. You can kind of think of it like a temple run from the side sort of view. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. And we're having a lot of success with that one as well, because people are like, I don't really like playing mirror jump. Obviously, people want more advanced games. But that's kind of what we're doing at the moment. We're trying to work on a creative where there's multiple games for people to play. So rather than just being linear and having one game that they have to play and it feels like a grind, the token will be rolled out across all the games. So we'll have one economy that basically links all the games together, and people can choose what they want to play, whether they want to shoot, whether they want to jump, whether they want a casual game. But yeah, it all goes towards contribution of the DAO and the governance and voting rights. I don't want to say too much, obviously, because I don't want to feel like I'm taking over the space here. Obviously, there's some really great projects here. I'm looking forward to hearing from the other Ryan as well. So yeah, Ryan, Chris, when you're ready, I'll listen to you there. Yeah, obviously, Raka, we've done an AMBA before, so thank you for inviting me back again. I do really appreciate it. And Q, it's nice to meet you also. But yeah, like one of the other things we did as well, which we've released quite successfully, is we have released a development kit, which is basically our SDK. It is currently 2,700 votes on Product Hunt. So we're literally one of the top on there. And Alchemy just released their store very recently. I think it was only a day ago. Their new DApp store. We're actually on there as well. Oh my god, I am wrong server. I'm late. Oh right, sorry, I was just reading what MetaPro was saying. So yeah, the development kit itself is to basically help Web2 games become Web3. So we offer a kit where you can basically create quite complex features in Web. Basically, we took the Mirror World concept, everything we created, and we wrapped it as an SDK. So literally, people can build anything they want with our SDK. Whether they want to build DeFi projects, whether they want to build NFT explorers. We're actually doing a YouTube series at the moment with the Mirror World CTO, which is Jonas. And this is actually out Explorer. So it's not heavy coding, it's basically TypeScript type of coding. And they can basically copy what we're doing, or they can download it from GitHub, because we're going to make the file available for anyone to use, so they can learn Web3 basically through doing. I think that's the best way to learn anything, really, is by doing things. So the DAO itself, I'll come back to talk about that. We offer a Guardian program, which basically is built up of different people with different roles inside of the community. So we have people who are entertainers. So these are our content creators, people who create memes, which is the let's have a little bit of conversation about football and how that's changing the Web3 space. Introduce yourself next.
Okay, and Ryan, Chris, you can just introduce yourself and the project, and just some updates that you guys have, if there's anything to share.
Yeah, guys, so nice to meet you all. My name is Ryan Chris, and I'm the CEO and co founder of Metaverse. Nice being here and taking part once again with Port 3.
Did we lose him, Raka? Maybe.
Yeah, might be a bit problem. I'll try to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we might have lost him. Isn't that seems a little bit choppy today?
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
sure he'll introduce
Internet.
himself when he's back.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, yeah, on this side, we are having South Africa is in a we are very delicate situation. We have something that they call load shedding, which is basically just we don't have enough power. So we have about 10 hours of power outage a day. Yeah. So they're going to cut my power in about 30-40 minutes, so hopefully by in 40 minutes we'll be fine. The internet might last because I've got a little batteries and stuff here that'll maybe last an hour, so we'll be fine. Let's move on to the second part, and while we're here today to just chat a little bit about how the World Cup is changing or adding to crypto and to this Web3 space, and uh, if there's any like noticeable uptick in users and things like this. So, you know, I'm just the first question that I'm going to shoot out there, and anyone can answer this for me is, do you agree that cryptocurrencies are appearing more than in previous World Cups? And I would say your previous World Cup would have been 2018, eh? So,
Yeah, I agree, and I think there's a reason for it. If you think about what's actually happening, like one of the partners that we pulled up with is NFT Star, and they launched Neymar's project. So Neymar launched his product in Opensea. It went to the top 10 collections within 2-3 hours. You can't get a much stronger KOL for Brazil than Neymar. So it was going to do well regardless. I think the art's pretty good too, and I think the fact that they've got different wraps, like for example, the Humans was the first one they launched.
mm,
That's given a lot of exposure. Neymar's got what 30 million followers. Hang on, wait, let me check. Can't remember.
and yeah, another thing that I've noticed, is Binance as well, collabing with Ronaldo. Um, and I mean, this is also something new. So I think this is becoming a more in this World Cup. It's more obvious, and the advertisements that are there on the field, it's crypto.com everywhere.
I,
And this
I
is quite,
also
it's, yeah, Q.
yeah I also think the same thing because if there is anything concerning football, using such a figure as Ronaldo to advertise your products, right? It's going to be so huge because
Mm,
I think he also sort of like has his NFT in with Binance, I guess, the Ronaldo collection, alongside using Argentina as a whole and Lionel Messi fronting the whole Binance advert. So for this particular question, I definitely agree that cryptocurrencies appear now more than the previous World Cups, I guess, because like Ryan said, Neymar also has his thing going on with crypto. So that's about three huge football figures in here. That's Neymar, Ronaldo, Messi, and the whole Argentina squad as a whole, alongside the other minimal clubs or the minimal other countries out there that sort of like advertise them, crypto.com and all of that. So I definitely think that this year, alongside the sort of medium, or should I say, yeah, medium rates of adoption at this particular time, because the countries where they used to ban crypto are now accepting crypto. So definitely this year is one of the highest, if not the highest, or the best time that cryptocurrencies have actually surfaced than the preceding World Cups.
yeah, and just on the other side, like in week out, OKX is doing F1 sponsorship,
Yeah.
and this is this is massive to see, and they are so this is I think in all we have a lot more of it being open to the public. Where in 2018 maybe there wasn't this kind of adoption yet, or maybe the tools were not yet there for users to
Yeah.
easily uh, access. Because back in 2018, MetaMask just came out, I think, so you didn't really have a lot of web wallets. So you had a lot of wallets that you had to download yourself, and not a lot of chains were together on a single wallet. So if you wanted to, for example, Sia, Sia coin back then, I was mining Sia coin, and you had to download their wallet, and then you want to do if you wanted to mine Ethereum, you have to download the Ethereum wallet for that time, or Bitcoin wallet. And it's quite because I've lists and lists of private keys and things that you need to keep track of. So I think now maybe with the implementation of web wallets, we have a lot easier access, and especially MetaMask is quite strong. I don't just want to shill for them, but I think it's quite an easy way, because you have the same address for all of your EVMs. You
Yeah.
have so many access to so many chains, so it's quite interesting to see. Yeah. I think we lost the other Ryan as well now. Uh, Hopefully he'll be back as well.
Okay. I think I just invited Ryan. If you can hear me, Ryan from Mirror World, I just re-invited you to the mic so you could check that out.
Okay. Uh, he's going to relog, it seems like. Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hey guys,
And
can you hear me?
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah, we
sure.
can hear you, Ryan, Chris.
Yeah, so I was talking about the last World Cup in 2018. I mean, the crypto industry had started to become a little bit popular, like widely popular in the soccer universe. And then because there were clubs from the biggest soccer league in the world, like Premier League, the Premier League there, they started cooperating and doing partnerships with eToro and stuff like that. And then if I still recall, there was a Spanish striker called David Barrow. He was traded from Real Madrid to DUX International, and he was paid by Bitcoin. That was the
Yeah.
first cryptocurrency transaction made by Bitcoin. And also, I must also mention a thing that you already did, which is Cristiano Ronaldo having a potential partnership with Binance, which shocked everybody else on June this year. I mean, things are pretty amazing. And when it comes to Qatar, like the first thing I noticed when I watched the football games, I watched that Crypto.com. It became the official sponsor of 2022 FIFA, which will take things for them to another level, especially when Qatar is like the most country who spent a lot of money, like that's a lot, $230 billion on infrastructure and to host this World Cup and stuff like that, in addition to 1.5 million to across 1.7 million adoption of people from all around the world. So I guess if the right marketing and the right advertising went really well, there's going to be a mass adoption for sure when it comes to cryptocurrency. And thank you, this was just a brief. Thank you.
No, I totally agree with you. I think it's very noticeable now. And many sports, especially like for in South Africa, for example, with rugby is like religion in South Africa, and the teams are sponsored by the South African equivalent of Binance, which is called Luno. And so again, this is very open and very obvious for people to see. So a lot of adoption coming in like that. And in South Africa, the regulations are put in place for taxation of crypto if you are taking money out of Luno. If you are doing anything on it, or exchanging or selling and buying and making profit, there's no taxation. But as soon as you want to take it out, then there's taxation. and some people agree with it, some people don't agree with it. I think that for countries to adopt cryptocurrencies, there will be some form of taxation. They can't just have. They need to be able to track where all the money is coming from and where and benefit from it at least a little bit. So hopefully not a lot of taxation, but a little bit is okay. Hey, I'm gonna move through to the second question, and the second question is the ecosystem, the growth during the World Cup of the ecosystem. The ecosystem. Have you seen any like growth on your side during the World Cup uh, in your projects?
Well, I think I should. Can I go first on this one? Yeah.
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead, Q.
So, I've had like the opportunity to sort of like host a couple of programs with MGLand here at MGLand, right? And I have noticed over the past few weeks that the World Cup has been on. I have noticed like brand new users, right? And sometimes it's amazing because before the World Cup, right? Before all of this, I just had like I was able to pinpoint regular community members, but now I sort of like get people from all over the place, and it's pretty awesome because I'm someone who likes to take note of almost every community member I can, because it sort of like it sort of helps the overall communication and brings togetherness and oneness with the ecosystem. So to that particular question, I would definitely say yes, because the amount of new persons I have seen is sort of like amazing. Yeah, so very, very amazing. So to that one, yes, I would definitely say yes.
From our side, I mean, as soon as the World Cup started, there were at least 20 partnerships being formed with different groups and different people running campaigns for the World Cup, and uh, cash prizes and giveaways, and like I see MGLand as well, voting for the teams that are going to win, and this is this makes an impact because football fans that for example, now we're on OKX. They do their staking, so you can free mint and then you stake 10 US dollars, and then you can win every match if your team wins. Yeah, without having to bet in that sense. Yeah, you don't need to. At the end, you get your stake $10 back, and whatever per game, you're not getting a lot. If you're voting for, going to get 50 US dollars, but if you pull off a magical Japan, you vote for Japan and they go through, then you can get yourself a good $10 or $12 in that game. And I mean, this is no risk for the person. And I think a lot of people that are football fans will start to use this kind of service that there is. And for Port 3, we've seen a big uptake in users, especially in the World Cup events. And I I think there's quite a positive growth, and this is on the back of a lot of negativity we had in the past, let's say 6 months, basically. So if there's still new users coming in now that are starting to see, oh, there's something else other than just trading crypto. Yeah, if we are thinking about technology behind it. Yeah, we are not just thinking about Bitcoin and trading that to make profit. It's the technology behind it, because the technology that is sitting behind blockchain technology is quite amazing. And for me, I'm in it for the technology, and I enjoy seeing new things happen. Like for example, Mirror World. It's fantastic the way that you can build Web3 games by using their services, and coming here to MGLand to have
Thanks, man.
your meetings. It's amazing to see this thing. This is what I love about it. And new users coming in might be frightened by the fact that, oh, it's just for trading. But I think now it's busy shifting a bit, and there's a lot more coming through. That's not just about, we want to trade, but more about, the user taking back their data and then using that as a way of accessing sites and being able to share their data through the online data. So like for example, BAP, the Binance token, yeah, and the Binance what does it stand for? The Binance their crypto ID, yeah. And I think a lot of different projects have these things that they are vying for that space, and this is something that I like to see as well. And everyone working together, it's not just fighting each other; it's working together, trying to grow this space. So, and I think the World Cup is having a positive effect on this.
Yeah, I agree too. So when it comes to this specific one, I really agree with what you just said. It's not like people these days don't relate crypto to trading anymore. They can say there are a lot of services, a lot of things to take part in, a lot of things to do inside of the metaverse, Web3. There are a lot of more things to come. And especially when it comes to the UAE, I can see that these past years there's been a lot of adoption, a lot of crypto companies being there because there are low tax brackets and so of that. But the Middle East has continued to increase its adoption of cryptocurrencies. Like countries like UAE are some of the most influential. Like there are a lot of people there. They're influential when it comes to the Arab world. And Arab people are a lot. They're considered millions. And one thing I must also add is really this World Cup is gonna bring a lot of like a mass adoption of people because all you need is a great campaign. And with that great campaign, if it's done in the right place, in the right moment, like the World Cup, that's for sure it's gonna bring a mass adoption, and of course it's gonna impact the crypto ecosystem, because we're not talking about hundreds or dozens or thousands of people. We're talking now about millions of people watching the full matches and taking part. That's it from my part. That's how I see things.
I think one of the users just actually asked a great question that's like going to touch on the next question that we want to ask, and that's from Mete. He asked, but what do we think about long term? So the next question is actually we're going to relate a bit to this. This is could the World Cup in Qatar rescue uh, the crypto following after the crash? Yeah. I'm not gonna say rescue. That's a bit strong. Like we are like
Yeah, I
it's
think
not in
rescue is
need
a
of a
strong word.
rescue. I think more, is it going to uh, advance adoption or just stabilize a market? And for me, with this question is usually just related to Bitcoin. Everything goes back to there because if it stabilizes, then everything else kind of stabilizes. And I mean, we know that it's been ranging for months in a 3%, 4% range. So give me your thoughts on what you think. Uh, your thoughts of actually, I'm just going to change the question a little bit to: is it long-term adoption? That's basically where I think the user put it a bit better. Like, is the FIFA World Cup going to result in a long-term user? And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Yeah.
I'm happy to go first on this question if you want. I don't mind. So okay, let's think about what is actually happening in the world. Obviously, we've got the Qatar royal family investing in the World Cup. That's the thing at the moment. The other thing they're investing in as well is Qatar Metaverse. So they're actually investing in a metaverse that's run for the World Cup in Qatar, official partners. But when we think about Bitcoin itself, all these different altcoins were created off the Bitcoin algorithm. Bitcoin as an actual currency was very early when it was launched. So the actual tokenomics, what I would say, Ethereum has a better level of tokenomics than Bitcoin at the moment. You can disagree with me, that's completely fine. And I think that it's obviously a lot more decentralized. Same with Solana as well. Solana at the moment is where our home is, Mirror World, and we believe in Solana developers. The ecosystem itself is one of the quickest to pop up. If you look at how much is changing in the Solana space, they're always developing something new. You know, you've got different markets being created, you've got DeFi projects, you've got marketplaces, incubators. It's all on there on Solana, and even with the dip that they had with the loss of funding, they still managed to maintain around $14 for a token, which is incredible to think, really. When you lose that much liquidity, you're still able to hold it. If you compare that to the supposed hack with Gala Games, where 1 billion token were printed through a glitch, that token itself is trading now at like 0.0035, I think it is, per token. So Gala took a huge hit on that, but it's still a very profitable company in the space, and probably one of the best gaming infrastructures out there. Even with the hack, Gala is probably one of the best gaming infrastructures. They understand gaming, basically. That's the easiest way to explain it. But when we think about where we see the future and whether it's going to rescue, or if we don't want to use the word rescue, maybe uptrend crypto, I think it is a possibility. The bear market itself at the moment is a game of recovery because the Federal Reserves are not actually investing in Bitcoin anymore. So it's not a case that they can use quantitative easing when Bitcoin falls. That's why we had, Bitcoin at 60,000 at one point. It's because of quantitative easing. Bitcoin were able to borrow more for their protocol.
I think a lot of users got scared off when the Fed started upping the inflation, and not just
it would have been, imagine if it was 7%, how scary that would actually be. 7% inflation. I think it ended up being 0.05, which is still it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think of how much we're actually printing in 1970 compared to if you think about US dollar, how much is actually getting printed at the moment is crazy, because the initial levels of US dollar in 1970, we've pretty much printed in the last 10 years double what the last inflation was. So people are being given money in America, for example, which then obviously puts people in debt, makes houses more expensive because money's more regular. That's what you see across the world. Like Vietnam, for example, Vietnam dollars, they're literally just in the street at the moment because the paper itself is worth less than the actual items that you're buying, and the import charges and the cost to make them, which is crazy to think. And there's other countries out there with a similar sort of economics, where they've adopted, for example, El Salvador, they were an early adopter of Bitcoin for their actual nation and having that as a country coin. So it's just crazy to think that that's where we are. I think Russia were talking about adopting Bitcoin at one point, or Ethereum. We're going to be at a stage soon where what we call traditional fiat. For people who don't know what fiat is and new to the crypto space, it's just like it's a token that basically stabilizes against its own value. So, for example, dollar for dollar, pound for pound if you're British. But obviously, we're going to see more and more crypto getting adopted by other countries, which means that crypto will become more mainstream. At the moment with COVID, money as a commodity, having physical cash, people don't want it anymore. You go into a shop, they're like Starbucks, for example. Let's say you go into Starbucks, they say, no, we don't accept cash anymore. You have to use card. And this is where we're going. We're trending towards a digital age. The only thing that probably will struggle with seeing is like governments adopting crypto, because everything on the blockchain is transparent. So I think Elon's pushing on freedom of speech at the moment. And actually, I don't know if you know, but they're going to release the Twitter files. So basically everything on Twitter that's been going on behind the scenes, which is just going to be an absolute shit show. Sorry for the French there. But it's going to be amazing to see. If you think about the history of the government over the years, they have something called a Disclosure Act. Every 60 years, they have to disclose any secret documents. So one of the secret documents that probably people don't know is Area 51. that's actually been disclosed. What is Area 51? So yeah, aliens don't seem to be real at this stage, according to the government. But this is my conspiracy hat at the moment. I'll take that off and I'll put on my business hat. But yeah, we're just seeing a lot of change at the moment in a good way. More VCs are investing, more people are getting into crypto, which are bigger companies. They're then investing in smaller companies, and we're just seeing a lot of local growth, which is always great. Yeah, that's my take on it at the moment. I think just my final, put it in a box thoughts. Yes, we will see an uptrend. Whether it will recover, I'd say no. I'd say that the bear market is probably here for another 1 year to 2 years. And that's because the gaming prediction for Web3, the boom will be by 2025, and it'll mostly be mobile adoption at that point. So at that point, we'll have a true metaverse, whether it's something like the other side, or whether it's MGLand, or whether it's decentralized, or whether we look at something completely new. Like, technology is getting more and more advanced, and servers are actually getting better. When you think about servers, people don't understand how much it actually costs to run. You can
Yeah.
pay £1 million for a server with only 10 blades, which is probably 100 terabytes, for example. Whereas you could have a cloud server like M². M²'s a British company that basically develops metaverse worlds. So that is what the other side is running on at the moment. And that can hold up to 1 million players at one space with no latency issues on a basic connection. And obviously, mass adoption is coming because the internet's being upgraded across the world. There's billions of pounds being poured into infrastructure. Like, for example, rural areas in England. I'll use England as an example. They were getting around 20 megabits per second on ADSL, which is like basic internet, easiest way to. I won't get into it, but our Cisco infrastructure engineer. But basically, like ADSL broadband, which were like the basic, you're looking about 20 meg, but it depends on the line's length to what sort of speed you could. So some people were getting 3 meg on a business connection, and obviously the protest at that, they're like, "This is too slow. We can't deal with it." So they got upgraded to fiber, and then fiber became FTTP, and then FTTP became DOCSIS 3 technologies, DOC 4, and basically we've got speeds now are up to 100 gig in local areas. It's crazy to think. And
Yeah, but you just on this point for us, from my side, like
yeah, go for it.
in South Africa, we're sitting on 1 megabyte to 8 megabyte lines.
Yeah,
Where
true.
I lived in Korea before, and that was 7 years ago, 5 years ago. Then you had a rural connection almost up to a gig. So there's still a big like difference in this. And I mean, yeah, as this improves, as internet improves, users do definitely adopt internet more. And
Yeah.
with that comes more users towards the metaverse and towards Web3 technology, because they have access to the internet wherever they go. So I think on that point with your, like, yeah, we will see a lot more adoption as internet improves, or internet infrastructure improves around the world.
Mm.
But there's massive markets that still need to be created. And I think this is quite good in a way, because if we have the development of Web3, those areas that need to be developed will be developed with Web3 in mind, and will create a whole new user that can join in.
This is why our focus at the moment, obviously the game is the main focus, having a game that people can play and contribute, but obviously the SDK is really important to us because it's what we call dog fooding. So for people who don't know what dog fooding is a way of saying using your own products. So you use your own products to develop your own products, that then people develop their own products using your product. It's basically a case of everyone basically knows that one platform, and they can do anything with that. If you know the basics of one platform and that is your remit, that is your speciality, it's a lot easier for you to build from that and evolve from it. And that's what we'll see. We'll see quicker things being created because the speed of SDK compared to actually coding from scratch, you've already got the tools in there. Something that would take you 6-month project, let's say, you could do it in 2 months now using an SDK. And that's why we feel it's important to give that to community members. I want to see from Mirror World someone basically create their own project, whether it's an NFT project, whether it's something else, be successful using the SDK, because that just proves proof of concept. We've just took on some really big partners, to be honest with you. Like, one is Rage Effect, which is a AAA game on Solana. And then we took on another one, which is Zuana. They've just partnered with us too. I don't know what they're doing yet. And then we've got Kaiju Cards, which is another game that's coming out. They're all using the Mirror World SDK to actually create their products. And they're saying that it's quicker, it's more efficient than actually, having to learn code from scratch, which is just crazy to think that and not only that, the different languages you need for blockchain as well. This is what people don't realize. You have, for example, on ADA, you have to use Haskell, which is like an ancient language that's really, really difficult to use. And then obviously for Solana, you've got TypeScript, you've got Rust, which is another language. And it's like, where do you get these engineers who know all this different stuff? And then you have the more complicated stuff if you want to build these huge infrastructures like using Roof and Cairo, which is like pretty much dead language. So, these people who are using these languages and know them inside out, you're paying £1 million a year just for that one person to develop and create the app. And then they might need another 2 people on that. So that's another 2 million involved. Honestly, it's crazy. The cost can just roll downhill so quickly.
Yeah.
But
This
yeah,
is
I don't think
this
crypto
is
is crashing. I think it's just at a stage where we're at a level where it's sleeping, but it's manageable. You can still make money in the bear market. Anyone who tells you
stagflation.
can't, that's a lie.
Stagflation, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
That's what it is. Crypto is
yeah,
basically matching fiat inflation.
yeah. I think it's yeah. Like, I mean, it's good, it's bad. It's none of that. It's just get through it and get to the other end, and then just keep developing the technology behind it. I mean, that's what we were talking about. But let's get back to the football.
Yeah, let's jump back to
I'm
football.
enjoying
Sorry, we're
this, and
going off topic.
I can listen to you speak about this for very long, because this is a very big interest of mine. Like, all the technology behind that goes on behind the scenes. But yeah, let's get back to what the guys are here today for. Let's talk a little bit more about the football.
Let's do it.
Now we are back on fan tokens. Fan tokens are amazing, yeah. And so how are they performing? What do you think about fan tokens? Like, I mean, I got into because I'm a fan. I watch Premier League, so uh, at the point when I started buying fan tokens, they didn't have my team's token yet. So I bought some other team tokens, but I do enjoy that. And what do you think about them?
So for me, fan tokens, I think they're good because if we think about the other option, shares in football, like I bought shares in Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United, and those shares are worth nothing like what I paid for them, which is a bit frustrating. I was a huge football fan, and obviously after I lost money in shares, I kind of drift off a bit, and I just watch the World Cup now. I don't really watch any other football apart from Premier League and World Cup. But yeah, I think fan tokens are useful because it's just a proof of your loyalty to that particular club, or that's the easiest way to explain it, I guess. I think they're a good thing because people can prove that they are actually actively involved with that particular club, and it doesn't just extend to football. Obviously, it's other environments too. Basketball, whether you own basketball cards, whether you own football cards, whether you own NFT football cards. A lot of projects are waking up now that are Web3 projects that are basically like football cards as NFTs. And to be honest with you, I'm all for it. What do you guys think to fan tokens these days?
Well, I think fan tokens are somewhat like Discord badges, right? Where you would have access. Take for example, like a Discord badge, right? You will have access to certain rooms based on the badge allocated to you, right? And it's sort of similar to the fan tokens because there are a few things that you could not do, and there are a few places you wouldn't go, or there are a few decisions you wouldn't be able to take part in because you don't have the fan token, right? So I just see it as some sort of like a privilege giving you access to those things that normally you might not have access if the club or the team placed certain rules and said stuff like fan token holders only have access to this service. This will make these tokens much more valuable for anybody who thinks they are sort of like irrelevant, right? So it's basically just more or less about the value attached to the token itself for it to sort of like blow up real quick, to even the easiest things like maybe getting front row seats right in a soccer match for that particular club. Let's take for example you have a match at I remember Ryan said he likes to watch Premier League, and imagine you're a fan of maybe Chelsea or Arsenal or Manchester United, and they say the first 5 rows are reserved for fan token holders, but you want to sit somewhere close to where you could see maybe I don't think I will use Rashford. I don't know, maybe someone like Sancho, I guess, or Anthony, a fan token. So I see it sort of like the value people attach or the value the team attaches to the token really, really nice and go well to users who don't know about it to sort of like come into it and get to make some research and just go along with it pretty fine.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with this one. Like when it comes to football fans, to the fan tokens, it gives you special rights and privileges when it comes to your favorite team or let's say a favorite player, especially when the World Cup is here and also Binance is a host for many FCs, many football teams like Lazio, like Juventus, like a lot of Premier League football, FC football clubs, and people really like it's been like in our childhood when we used to buy some football cards at the supermarket and play with it and trade it with our friends, especially like Pokemon cards, but an online version to it. And also, as our dear colleague just mentioned, like you can use it to get like to change your seat, to have some special privileges when it comes to your favorite player and so on. And now the World Cup is here, and all I can say is that those fan tokens, we're gonna see a lot more clubs diving inside of this specific field, and there's a lot more that is yet to come. It has a future.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that. You know, it's really clear that there's going to be a future on that. If you think about creators using POAP, for example, it's all about badging participation. You know, what we're doing at the moment in Mirror World is we offer OAT badges, which is basically like your achievements in the metaverse. And in the future, who knows, these OAT badges themselves might lead to airdrops based on how many OAT badges you own. So yeah, there's definitely some sort of, you know, the thing is you have to give back to your fans. These are the people who support you early on. And
Totally agree on that.
we couldn't do anything we do today without your guys' support. And that goes to all 8 of you who's listening to this now.
Yeah, I think the same, man. Like you can only be as strong as your community in Web3, and if you are not going to give back to the community and not listen to them and develop as listen to them and see how can we make it better, you're going to not be able to succeed in this area. And this is also just the badges. For example, for us, like wristbands. Yeah, we have Port3 have wristbands, and users that are actively participating in campaigns get wristbands, and these allow you to get access to more campaigns that have better rewards. And this is what you want to see. You want to see people that are actively coming back to your platform to use it, to develop it, and to basically test it, because this is all new. It's not like it's been around for 10, 20 years. It's Web3, this metaverse space, and the adoption of Web3 is quite a new thing. And so you need users to come back to be able to test your system and test what you are making and building and improve it. So it's good to give back to the community, and I think everyone does that. I think Raka is they are quite cool with. I love seeing all the badges around. I see a lot of Port3 badges here, and it's quite amazing to see. There's some use for a badge again, because if there's no use for it, why would someone want to do anything for you? But let's move on to the next question now, and that is basically this: what are there any interesting use cases for NFTs or non-fungible tokens that you have come across during the World Cup, or actually just we can just expand it to like over the past few months, like anything interesting that you have seen? I mean, we are in one. I love seeing my port 3-star starfighter a badge over there on top of my spaceship. So this is one interesting use case. Can you guys just elaborate a bit, or anything that you've seen recently?
Yeah, I can say the Azuki launch of the 9 skateboards. That was crazy. It sounds like something that's really simple, like just mocking a couple of skateboards. It's really not. They're gold plated. They've got an entire comic book series dedicated to them. It's just insane to see that story building and that sort of lore. And in football related stuff, obviously we're seeing if Ronaldo scores 3 goals, a hat trick, for example, they're going to produce a different giveaway. Or if he scores 2 goals, or if someone else scores, what the score is on the World Cup. It's kind of like they're changing their content based on the outcome of the future, I guess. So yeah, that's really good to see. But I think we see a lot of creative applications for Web3. The project that I'm using the PFP for now, which is Skullpunk's Hideout, their NFTs are now going to be fully customizable. So you can literally go on Opensea, click a button on your profile picture and change your background while it's live, and then you can remint it with a new background. Or you can change the helmet, the swords. It's a really creative project, really creative, and it's the first I've seen of that style. And there's another project that's coming out called Awaken, AWKN, in case anyone wants to check that out. And that's basically like I think they partnered with Skullpunks, but I don't know the actual background on it. But everything's fully customizable. You can change your mask. You can use token to change your mask. You can use token to change your swords, for example. Like I've got swords on my back on the PFP. Everything's fully customizable, and I think that's what we'll see in the future. No one's actually stuck just having one level of rarity. They can upgrade their PFP and show their ownership there in the community. Because the thing is, like, you want PFPs, they feel like the most important community members out there. But it's not true. A 101 or a floor, for example, a floor ape, when Bored Ape Yacht Club first came out, were given to Eminem. That became one of the most valuable NFTs because it's linked to Eminem himself. So, and then obviously Snoop Dogg as well. You don't see that, and then people generate groups around it, like the skin, leopard skin, leopard monkeys. They became associated with Snoop Dogg, so the price went up because everyone wanted to be associated with Snoop Dogg's NFT. Yeah, it's crazy to see how the space is evolving, and there's always something new. That's what I like about it. I don't feel like when I'm investing in these JPEGs that I'm just investing in a picture. I'm investing in a community that I believe can build. That's the easiest way to explain what I do. And yeah, we see some projects go to zero, which doesn't bother me. I still get a really cool picture out of it, so I'm kind of happy in the end. I've got art that I like, and that's what you should buy. Stop buying to make profit. Buy art you like, and that's my word from that. Yeah, over to you, Pot3.
For
Well,
the Q, you can take it. I'll go after you.
yeah, okay. Besides the things that we've sort of like spelled out here, and the obvious launch of certain footballers' NFT collection, I also spotted something about a few days ago, right? And I don't know, I saw it sort of interesting. I don't know who else has seen on Instagram. Like you have where you have your settings. I don't know if you could see me very well. I think I could just show this. There is a tab here. Can you see that? There is a tab here that says um, digital collection. I think
Yes.
that's one just recently came. I don't know if anyone has seen that
Yeah,
and
I've
me
already
tapping
seen
on
it.
that part. Okay, you've also seen that. Okay,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
see that Instagram is trying to allow you connect your wallet and start sharing digital collectibles on Instagram. I don't know how that is going to work, but I know that sort of popped out on my Instagram a couple of days ago, and I hadn't engaged with it. So I said, let me wait for this particular session to just sort of bring it out to us in case anyone else has seen something like that. So I don't know how safe it is because they didn't advertise or announce that they are going to roll out this feature, right? So if you're here right now and you have connected your wallet to this Instagram, you could sort of like just share feedback, and we'll just collate or whatever. We'll just figure out what is trying to go on Instagram, basically, because it was sort of like a silent update to uh, the Instagram app itself. So that's one
So I can
interesting
tell you that if you
use case I'm
like.
seeing right now. Oh,
So
okay.
Yeah.
Instagram are launching collections, and it's basically partnered with Solana. They did it quite
Oh,
recently. I'll send it in the Telegram chat so you can have a read of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
okay.
yeah, it's been announced that they're partnered with Solana. So Instagram collections will be on Solana chain, and I don't know if Marketplace is linked to it, but you can basically mint your own NFTs on Instagram. Facebook are doing it as well. I think Facebook are looking to release to digital collectibles, and you've got everyone lining up. Reddit's a perfect example of that. You know, Reddit released millions of NFTs, and people pay $25 for them, and now some of them are going for like nearly $2,000 each, if not more. And people are understanding now, you know, that what actually digital collectibles are. And I think
Mm-hmm.
eventually NFT will be changed to the word digital collectibles in the future, or
Yeah.
Yeah, I
DCs.
think it's just
It'll be called
more
DCs.
more Ryan. Yeah, Ryan, Chris. Sorry, mate.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's just as the word they will just shift. People will just start shifting away from using NFT to using digital collections, and then forget that they are actually NFTs. Uh, yeah. So I think then as soon as that starts happening, people people forget very fast. So they'll just start adopting digital collections, and then nothing to do with NFTs, but actually they are.
Exactly, yeah, that's the point. I mean, you got the whole point right there. And I also heard that Elon Musk also is planning something on Twitter. Like he's planning to launch some crypto collection or having a wallet linked to your Twitter account. I mean, that guy's insane and he's gonna take the game to another new level. I mean,
Yeah, that guy
crazy
is
Yeah,
things.
true,
he's a
true.
bit insane. He's a
I
bit
think it'll be
mental
linked to
sometimes,
Dogecoin as well as speculation. I think Dogecoin
Definitely be
keeps
linked
going
to
up.
Doge.
Yeah, I think so. That's what people are speculating, and that's why Doge keeps going up. Is people are
Yeah.
speculating
I
that's what's
mean,
going to link Twitter.
I think the only two players left in this space are CZ and Elon. I mean, big guys. I mean, there's a lot of other guys as well, but I mean, for CZ, it's just BNB and what's his other one? Um, I can't get to it. And then for Elon, it's Doge. So these two guys are still in there, and I think obviously it's never investing advice, but Doge has always got some potential after a bear market and towards the end of a bull run. But it's interesting to see these things coming forward, becoming a bit more into the mainstream, and I think it is a positive, but a lot of negative things come out of it because a lot of people lost money during FTX's like absolute shit show. Sorry again for the French, and this is just crazy to see something like that happen, and you cannot believe that. I mean, Luna was different because there wasn't the exchange as big as FTX. So there's a lot of negative coming through, but at least we are still seeing some adoption and some mainstream things in being introduced here. But let's quickly just move on. We're coming towards the end of the hour here, and I just want to um, from you guys. So any big events that are happening in your project specifically, and how users can participate in this, and then we will open it up the floor to some of the users here to ask some questions. Let's almost start with Q. Can you guys start this off for us, and then we'll go Ryan, Chris, and then finally Ryan from our world.
Okay. Um, Basically, the latest things to sort of like check on with MGLand are usually published. Like this one was the latest one right now. This particular meeting was the latest one, and we have a couple more that are being that would be published also in the announcements channel. So it's basically for users to sort of like just join in. There are a couple of partnerships going on the Twitter, and they are being also posted to the community Discord for us to sort of like keep track of whenever there is going to be any event. And Raka will know very well about the upcoming events because he sort of like keeps track of the events like that. But more or less for now, this is the latest one right now. And future one would be communicated, I think, in the announcements channel as usual. So everything will just all be in there. Raka, is there any huge one upcoming besides this one for this particular time?
All right, Ryan, Chris from Metaverse. Any events or things that you guys are running,
Yeah,
and
so for the
how
moment,
can users participate?
yeah, at this specific moment, all I can say is stay tuned for more. Like, people should go, and if people are interested to take part, they could just follow us on our socials because we're getting closer to launching our Getaverse platform and also our Geta token. We are being incubated and invested by KuCoin, so KuCoin is gonna also announce it in the few upcoming weeks, like the next week or the second week. So things are getting pretty exciting. We've noticed a mass adoption of people. People are getting excited. We're gonna launch our testnet, our Getaverse platform soon. So all I can say is follow us on our socials and stay tuned for more. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then Mirror World, Ryan. Anything? I know we talked about this in the beginning, but any big events coming that users can participate in? You still muted, Ryan. I don't know if you are there still, but let's see. No, he's out. All right. So, port three. We're busy running our end of year event. It's kind of a wrap up, and then we just finished our Wait NFT. So where users were able to mint it, and this will give them access to better rewards. I mean, we are a questing platform, trying to be the bridge between Web 2 and Web 3. So at the moment, you can just check the pin tasks at the top are quite amazing, and we are quite privileged to have amazing projects join us. So you can check it out there. Our end of year, I saw someone with the badge already running around here in MGLand, so that's nice to see. Our wrap up events badge. So yeah, that's from us. Ryan, are you back with us now? And you can share just quickly what event and how can users participate.
I think I'm back. Can you hear me now? All right, cool. I think it's when you switch web page, it kind of pops us off. I don't know why, but it is
I
what it
think
is.
I think what you can do is to separate the tab, like just separate MGLand's tab out of
Okay.
your the rest of your tab, so it make it easier for you.
Let's wait for me. He'll come back now. Yeah. I realized that last time, and then now I've got my two tabs running, so it
Yeah,
works nice. I
exactly.
think it's just the issue with the microphone, switching between because the computer doesn't know
Yeah,
where to put the microphone.
exactly. Ryan, are you with us, or should I re-invite you?
Yeah, re-invite.
Yeah, yeah,
Can you hear me
okay,
now?
okay, sure. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, that's cool. So yeah, Mirror World, we've got an event coming up. We just partnered with Cyber City, which is another project on Solana, a gaming project, JRPG style game, and they have Shiba Inus in it as well. I won't say too much about them, but we've partnered with those guys. And we're actually launching an event shortly, so you guys be able to participate in the event. I won't say what the event is, but there'll be some nice prizes. That's what I will say. And then the other event we've got is Mirror World Encyclopedia. So this is basically taking your lore as a user, and we may be adding it to the actual gameverse. So if you create lore that's interesting, unique, you could be added into the game as canon. There are other competitions coming up as well, but yeah, I don't think I can say too much. I want to, leave some surprises. I've already gave two big things away.
Okay, yeah, nice, man. I would like to definitely write some law and get my law included. That's always such a great thing. I was
Yeah,
part of
do
a
it, man. Do
project
it.
before.
I'm up for that.
I was part of a project before where we basically wrote law for stories, and then on NFT. So if you own the NFT, then you get access to like the law, and then make like manga series out of that. That was quite a lot of fun, but there's neither here nor there. Let's move over to our users. I don't know, Raka, if you've been keeping track of some great questions. I was just busy listening to you guys, so I probably missed a lot of questions. But if you guys have any questions, you can put it into the chat now, and we'll choose some of you and try to answer your questions. You can ask. Oh yeah, no, you can ask them by coming on and talking to us. Yes.
Please, anybody who wants to come on can raise his or her hand, or sort of like just say yes, I want to come on, and I'm going to bring you up to the stage. Okay, ignore star. You have a question. I'm going to bring you up to the stage real quick. Angel, also, I'm going to bring you up to the stage. Okay, and I think I see Saif 123. All you need to do is just allow permission to your mic for MGLand tab. Can you hear me, Angel? If you are
Yeah,
okay, you can begin.
can you hear me?
If not, yes, sure, we can hear you.
Okay, thanks for inviting me. My question to Raka is that what are the top
Hello.
three priorities? Can you hear me? Great. So my question to Raka especially is that what are the top three priorities for MGLand in the long run, or especially, or you can answer it by a short term in 2023. What are the top three priorities for MGLand? Yeah, top three priorities. What are, I'm talking about the top three priorities that you have or ambitions you do have. Yep. Thank you.
Can you ask your question now, Angel?
Hello.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you, Ignore Star.
Yeah, good evening to you. Good evening,
Yes,
everyone.
good evening to you.
My question is, how can you explain NFTs to my friends?
Is that an open question or to um, a specific person right here, right now?
Oh, sorry.
Ignore
Hey,
Star.
for is it Ignostar? Is the question to explain NFTs? Let me just I yeah, okay. Um yeah, this can be long, but let me just put it in short. I'll answer that. A non-fungible token. So basically, one of one, you can use it to prove that you own something. This is for me the best part behind this technology, is that you can for 100% sure prove that you have something, because there's a unique contract that is gets created when an NFT is minted. So there's a way for you to show that, oh, listen, I was part of the 2022 AMA in MGLand, and you are able to then say, okay, well, on my wallet address, we can check and see, oh, you were here, so then you can get rewards for this. So NFTs, meaning non-fungible tokens, they cannot be they cannot be funged, so they can't be changed. You can't change, you can't fake that you were here. There's no way for you to do this. This is my part, the like what I like behind NFTs technology. Like for we touched on digital assets, so you can prove that you own something, and it cannot be a fake, because there's just one of that. The same way they are using NFT technology to create internet IDs, being able to prove that this is me through my internet ID. I don't have to go, for example, if I want, let's say 10, 20 years into the future, when this is taken a bit more into the common space where everyone is using it. You don't need to go to a bank to get approval for them for a bank loan, and they look at all your finances. You can just show your wallet address to whoever's buying, if you want to buy a house, and they will be able to see, oh yeah, you're fine, you qualify. You don't need to go through a long process because everything will be recorded on there. This is
Wow.
good and bad, both sides, but I'm not going to touch on that. But I mean, this is where this technology can go, is that you don't have to go through long processes to do something. You can just go to the bank and say, hey, here's my wallet address. They know exactly, okay, you're fine, you can qualify, you don't qualify. You don't, maybe the banks don't even physically exist anymore and they are only online because there's no need for the accounting part anymore. So in short, I think that's just
Chip,
my side. I mean, someone else can expand a bit, but I think for me, that's the most prominent part of this.
I could probably say it shorter.
Go
Let,
for
let
it.
me
Go
hear.
for it.
So
Yeah.
basically, an NFT is literally like, let's say that that bag's owned by your grandma, but 10,000 other people have the same bag, but that one's got a name in it, the little badge that she put in herself with a name, and then basically she's got evidence that that is her bag. That's the easiest way to explain it. Like, it's just a case of putting a name label in something, but rather than a name, it's a hash number or an ID
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
identifies you, and then that
Exactly.
identification can be used to any sort of application. So it identifies you in the community. It identifies you in real life if you want it to. If you show someone that you're this person or you're this picture, they then know that associates with you, and no one else in the world can do that.
Exactly. That's where the non-fungible comes in, that word. Like, it cannot be faked. Like, you cannot
Yeah, you
change it
can't
because
replicate it.
the way of blockchain, the way that blockchain technology works is like a fly trapped in amber. The longer time goes on, the more amber goes around it, and then that transaction or that ID that was created cannot be changed. So this is the strength of
I like the analogy.
blockchain.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, for example, I think some of the high-end handbags are using NFT technology to prove that these handbags are are real, so that you can establish that provenance. Like, where was it made? How long has it been? Who bought it before you? How many users have there been? Because you can track that through NFTs. You can see how many people have owned that thing. If it's transferable, for example, we can track and see how many people have used this before. So there's a
Well,
lot of use
this is
cases for it.
why. Sorry to interrupt. I don't mean to.
No.
So I'm just saying this is why Tiffany's is a really good example. Tiffany's is a high fashion, expensive luxury brand, and it's replicated all over the world. But because it's on the blockchain, you bought it from the blockchain. You know it's 100% authentic. No one can tell you that that's fake because obviously you have the blockchain to prove it.
Ignorant star, ignored star. Sorry, mate. I hope that this explains it a bit. I mean, it's a long conversation that can be held on this topic. But maybe that's for a different AMA. I mean, new users, it's always good to ask these questions because myself, I still only scratch the surface, and I've been using or been in this area for like 10 years already. And the technology behind it is difficult to understand a lot of times because I'm not a coder, so I don't speak any of the coding languages. I can read some of the basic ones, but I mean, so it's difficult to understand sometimes. Yeah. I hope it answered your question. Good question, actually. Good question. And I think that's it. Yeah. Do we don't have any more? Then
I think
I
yeah,
think
I think.
Angel has a question.
yeah, I
Oh,
think I would
Angel.
have
Yes.
to check on Angel.
Uh,
Angel, can you hear us? Okay, yeah, good.
yeah, so my internet is quite laggy as of now. So I hope
Yeah,
you are
sure. My
hearing
my
me
internet
clearly.
also.
So I will post my question here. Of all the sports you have to adapt crypto, why FIFA? And do you have any other plans to adopt this crypto thing to other sports?
Well,
Well, do you mean, did you mean why do we sort of like capitalize on the World Cup right now? Is that what you mean? Why do we capitalize on the World Cup
Yeah, somehow like
particularly,
that.
or can we do it to other
Yes.
sports like basketball? And is that what you mean?
Nah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, in the title, why is FIFA World Cup 2022 a boost for crypto? So by that means you are investing, you are planning to invest crypto on FIFA, right?
I would say more using the World Cup for as a means to promote blockchain technology other than investing directly in it. Because I mean,
Ah,
I
okay.
don't think we are able to invest directly into FIFA. I mean, we have like crypto.com is directly investing there, but I think we more using it as a means to promote blockchain usage inside the Web3. For example, today's conversation is about the adoption of crypto and with focus on like the World Cup. And I think to answer that question would be FIFA or football is the biggest sport in the world and it's the most watched sport in the world. So it's the best opportunity for projects and for this space to develop. Uh, yeah, it's the most. I mean, it's by far the most watched sport around the whole world, and so I think this is a part why everyone is, I would say, using this as a way to promote their projects and promote Web3.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking about your second question, do you have any plans to adopt this crypto thing to other sports? Or we are speaking about FIFA and the World Cup, it will seem like we are sort of like sidelining every other sport. But the matter right here, right now, is that the FIFA World Cup is going on right now. But if to answer your second question, the answer to it is yes. Actually, I've seen a couple of posts concerning cricket, stuff like cricket and even basketball and baseball, or even when they had the I don't know what they call it. I think it's NBA playoffs, something like that. There were a couple of ads I saw concerning crypto related bodies, like I think OKX did something like that. I don't know if it's OKX. I can't really remember, but I know I've seen it in basketball. I've seen it in cricket with Meta Game League, something like that. They are already there for cricket. I've seen it in tennis also. So definitely, the crypto thing is not just for football. It's basically for everywhere. You seem to see, um, or they seem, or we seem to have like engagement. We have a couple of people, like people in America. They play or they watch NBA very well. Like in South Africa, since they really like rugby, in America, they really like basketball, something like that. So for the region where they sort of like have a traditional sport, it will therefore be used as a means to sort of like just advertise or market the whole crypto thing to that particular region. So yeah, that's the answer to that second one. Not only football, but basically everywhere. And there are also some moves to future sports also.
So thank you for giving the answers and for correcting my question. It's quite funny that I just asked it because here in our country, we're not that into football and it's not kind of popular to us. So that's the reason why I asked this. Anyway, thank you for the answers.
All right, all right, sure. Is there
Thank
anybody
you.
else?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, yeah, okay,
yeah.
okay,
Sorry. Yeah. No, no. It's same question. You can take it, Kuya.
okay. Okay, yeah, so I wanted to ask if there is any other person who would like to join the mic. You could use this opportunity while port, port 3 is taking over. We should just try to indicate by raising a hand or saying, I would like to join in to ask a question. If you feel you need to join the mic to ask your question um, again, right? So I see someone in the chat section that is asking what three. Uh, who is your best, or yeah, which player is your favorite in the World Cup? I guess. I don't know. I think
Who my
everyone
favorite cricket who
asked
my
good
favorite cricket player
questions.
is. Sorry.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
were having a
Yeah.
conversation about cricket.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's just on a different side chat here quickly.
I
But
think
I
for
think that
now.
concludes. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
concludes
For
it.
now.
There's a. I think we were here today and we learned a lot, and I think Raka, hey, I, I think today we had at the end we I it's quite interesting, and we might invite some guys next time if we do another AMA one day. We can do a little bit of a crypto 101 AMA, just cover some basics. This is quite a fun thing to chat about, to share knowledge with how things work behind the scenes, because a lot of users are not technical. And I mean, today I was amazed, Ryan. Right, your knowledge is quite deep and it's fun to listen. And the same with you
Thanks.
guys, Rocco. Like, there's a lot of knowledge to be shared, and you know, so I think we can maybe in the future put this up on put it up on the board and see if we can pull a team together for a nice chat again. But thank you to everybody that came here today and listened to us and shared your questions and just being here is amazing. So, and again, thank you for Mirror World. Getav has left already. They had another obligation. And thank you again for MGLand. It's fun being here again. So, have a wonderful day. You can still finish the quest on SoQuest. So on you go soquest.xyz, you will see our AMA campaign there, and MGLand's giving away a badge. It's free mint, so SoQuest has free mint for December on port 3. Your project can deploy and mint their mint their NFTs for free. So no gas, no price to the user or to the project. So come and do it. Let's see if we can push those numbers.
Yeah, sweet. Thanks for having us. I appreciate it. It's been great speaking to everyone about the World Cup and the off topics too. Hopefully, someone learned something in the space. That's literally all we're doing at the moment. It's an education tool. That's what spaces are, and I hope you come away from it, knowing a little bit more than what you did before. Yeah, thanks for having us again, Rekka. Q, good to meet you also. Chris obviously dropped off, but it's nice to meet him. And Port 3, yeah, thanks for letting us speak on your space.
Honor being here, and it was an honor sharing with you guys. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you guys. Catch
Cheers,
you all
Oaks.
later.
Have a great weekend. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.